Welcome back techies, this is Rahul Bansal. Let's start. In this video we will talk about functions and docstring. So what is a function in any programming language? Function is simply block of code used to do a specific task. So why we need it or use it? The thing is, we have a lot of different tasks to perform in a program. So instead of writing the code of all those tasks in a single block, we divide it into smaller blocks. To do this division to smaller blocks, we use function. Okay, so first let's see how we define a function in Python. Okay, for that I need to make a Python file, okay, in which we will create a function. Let's have a new file. Okay, and let's save it. I'm gonna save it on desktop as test2.py. Okay, for defining a function, we use keyword def, which means define, of course, and then the function name that we want to create. Okay, so here we will take an example of a function which will calculate us the area of a circle. So I'm naming it area, and then these brackets, round brackets, in which we have to give arguments, parameters. Okay, r. So it will take radius as its parameter, and then this colon. Okay, so this is the syntax of defining a function. After this, we have the body of the function. After this, we have the body of the function in which we write code to perform a particular task. Now this particular function has to calculate area of a circle. Okay, so we have the formula of calculating area of circle as pi r square. We know it. I am taking a variable, any variable you can take, which will store the area. Okay, now write return. C. Okay, so now we have defined a function named area. Okay, what it does, it calculates the area of a circle. Okay, and this is the parameter r, the radius that we will give it so that it can calculate that area of circle. Now to use it, we first run the module. Okay, now it is running here. Now to use this function, we simply write the name of the function, and let us say we want to calculate the area of a circle with radius 2. Okay, and when I press enter, it gives me a 12.56. So what is happening here? Okay, let us again run this area function. Area of a circle with radius 5, and it is giving me 78.5. Okay, so now let's see how this function is actually working. Okay, when this is called calling a function. Okay, to use a function, we call it. Okay, so when we call a function, what happens is that the code inside of that function gets executed. Okay, so here the code is c is equal to this r formula pi r square. Okay, so this gets executed, and then the variable c is getting returned. Okay, so now what is this return do here? This return is actually returning a value at the point from where we have called that function. For example, now this return is returning a value. So if I want to store that value which is returned by this function in a variable, I can do that. Like let's say I have some area 1 of a variable. I have an area 1. I have area 1 a variable. Okay, and now I'm calling function area, and I want to store the area returned by this area function and the area of a circle with radius 6. Okay, 6 units. And when I press enter, it gets executed. And now if we check the value of this area, print area 1, this variable, we will get the value, as you can see here. So what is happening here? Let us again see what is happening here. So when we call this function area6 here, the code inside this function gets executed, and the last line is return C, and this value that it calculates and stored in this C variable, it's returned here, and then it is assigned to this area1 function or area1 variable. So we have that the area value in this variable. Okay, let us calculate again another area of a area. Okay, so now let's see what value is stored in this, gets stored in this area2 variable, and we have 12.6, same as here when we have calculated this area2. Okay, so now you see how a function is used and it get executed. Okay, so there is one more thing about return. Okay, sometimes we don't return anything, we use here print C, and let me just erase this. Okay, now and run this module again. Okay, so if you change anything here, if you change any code here, you have to run this module again, so that the shell knows what changes are made there. Okay, now again, when I call area with any number, it gives me the value. Okay, it prints that value. Now here we didn't use the return statement, so here it actually is printing that value. How? Firstly it calculates the area and assigns it to C, and then it prints that value and then return back. Now here there is no return statement, so it is not returning anything. Okay, let us understand this. Now in the previous area function that we have in which we have a return statement, we are assigning the value returned by it to some variable, but in this there is no return, so it is not returning any value. So if we try to assign a value from this function, what will happen? Area 5, and okay, it is executing this, so it is printing, because there is a print, so it is printing. But when we print this area1, it says none. Basically it says none, because basically it is not returning any value, so there is no value in area1, or we can say it is returning none. None is also a type. Okay, so it is returning none here, and that none is stored in area1, there is no value. So if I write return C here also, so what happens is, when I write area 2 or area 1 is equal to area, let's say, of 9, okay, and do this. Okay, it is printing that value again, 254.34. okay, it is printing that value. But if you print the value of area 1 now, okay, oh sorry, I have to run this module again to make the changes. Okay, now let's try again. Area 1 equal to area 9, okay, 254.34. now if I print the area 1 value, and it gives me 254.34. so now it is storing, it is printing 2 with print statement and also returning that value, and that value is stored in this area 1 variable. So now you know the difference between using the print and return, and in some situations we use print, and in some situations, in most of the situations, we use return. Okay, that we will see. Now we know about the working of function. Now let us know there are 4 types of functions actually. Okay, firstly let me tell you one thing. In any programming language, we can there is something called commenting. Okay, we can comment anything in the program, and these comments are just for human reading. Okay, they doesn't make any sense to the program itself. Okay, so in Python we can write commands by using hash. We can write single line comments with hash. Okay, so I am writing a comment here, not the code. Okay, so now there are 4 types of functions. First is which takes something and gives something okay, and the second is which takes something and gives nothing. Okay, third is which takes nothing and gives something, and the fourth type is which takes nothing and gives nothing. Okay, so we have these 4 types of functions here in Python and other programming languages also. So we will see to this one by one. Okay, so now the first type is which takes something and gives something. Actually the example of this type we have already done it with this area function. Okay, which takes a function which takes something means it takes a parameter or an argument. Okay, so now in this area function we are having r as the parameter. We are giving it some value. Okay, we are calling it radius. We are giving it some value, so it takes something, and also at the last we have a return statement, so it is giving us some value back also, so it gives something. So it takes something and gives something, so this function lies in the first category. Okay, now another takes something and gives nothing. If what we do, if we just comment this return statement or erase it, now in this, now the function will become of this second type. It is taking a parameter, that is r, that is radius, that we are giving it some value. Okay, and it is returning nothing. There is no return statement, it is returning nothing, so it becomes now this function comes under the second category. Okay, so in the third category, takes nothing and gives something. Oh sorry, I mistyped here. Okay, takes nothing and gives something. What do you mean by this is, let's say we have a function called greeting. Okay, what it do is simply print hello there. Okay, so let me run this. Okay, now when I call greeting, and press enter, it prints it here hello there. So in this function, now this greeting function is taking no parameter, so it takes nothing, and it is also giving nothing. Okay, because there is no return statement, it is returning no value, so there is it is giving us nothing. So it lies in the fourth category, takes nothing and gives nothing. Okay, we skip this third category. Let me give you an example of the third function category also. Okay, let us define a new function, say sum. Okay, sum. Now in this sum, let us say it returns a sum of 4 and 5. Okay, fix 4 and 5. It return that sum. Return a. So when let me run it, run this module, and we have a variable c here and calling our function sum, and when we print c, we got 9 here. Okay, so now this function is of the comes under third category. Say see here, it is taking no parameter, so it takes nothing, but it is returning us a value, gives something, that is 4 plus 5 9. It is returning us 9, so it is returning a value which we can also assign it to some variable. Okay, so now one thing to note is let us know the terminology of function. Okay, now this first line that we say define, sum, and this we say it as function declaration. Okay, or in other COC we say as prototype, function prototype. Okay, and this is called function body, in which we write the code, and this whole is called function definition. So function declaration is just the name of the function with the keyword define in front of it at the end a colon. But function definition means we have the function prototype, that is the name, define, and colon, and the function body in which the actual code is written. So this whole is function definition. Okay, so we say we define the function here. Now you know the terminology too. So now let's talk about docstring. Okay, so what is docstring? Suppose we created a function and we use it, and now someone else want to use that function, but he doesn't know how to use that function. For this purpose, to use the same function, okay, by different developers or even by ourselves, okay, we write docstring. So docstring of functions tells some important things about that function. The first one is it tells about the parameters and the return value. Okay, so you will get to know about what parameters the function take and what value the function will return. Okay, so we can use it properly. Second thing is it tells us about any precondition, if the function has any precondition. Okay, we will know about these preconditions later. And it sometimes also gives us some examples to use that function. Okay, so now let's see how to write a docstring, okay, in a function. But first let me show you the docstring of the inbuilt functions that we have, and you have seen that docstring previously. When we say when we say help, okay, we have used a function called max, and we have used help on that also, max, and it gives us this strings, okay, these paragraphs. Okay, so what is written here? Help on built-in function max in module built-in max iteratable, and okay, I will make you see max arg1 arg2, it takes different arguments, and this star means it can take any number of arguments. Okay, and here it returns a value. Now what this function do is written here with a single iteratable argument, returns its biggest item. Okay, the default keyword only, here is some key, actually we don't have to know this. Okay, so here it says with 2 or more arguments return the largest argument. So this docstring is telling us that what this max function does, it takes more than one argument and returns the largest value. We know that it actually do that. If we do max 4 7, if we do max 4 7, and it returns us the biggest number, that is 7 from these two. So it is doing this thing. Okay, so now when we create a function, how to write the docstring? Okay, let us define a function sum. We have already defined that, but in this we will give parameters also. Say a num1 and num2. We want to add 2 numbers, that are num1 and num2, and we create this function. And now for this docstring we use this triple quote thing. Okay, now firstly I wanna tell that what the arguments it takes. So it takes first a number, okay, and you don't write a number, just you write number, and again comma number, because it takes 2 numbers. And after that, after this hyphen and greater than sign, we write what it returns. It returns a number, of course. Okay, here you can write directly returns the sum of two numbers. So you see, and also we can give some examples here. You need to think about these in your mind. Okay, so how you call it and what it will do. Okay, all these things like sum, I wanna add 3 and 4 and it will return me 7. You know it. This is actually a test case. Okay, we will use this one after creating this function to know that it is actually working fine. Okay, now it returns num1 plus num2, and you see here we have written this num1 plus num2 instead of firstly assigning it to some variable. We directly use it here in the return statement. We can do that. We can directly write expressions after the return. It will evaluate those expressions and calculate some value and then return that value. We can do that directly here. Okay, so here we don't need to write C. We can just simply use this expression as after return and it will return the same value. Okay, now let's see. Let's run this module. Okay, now if I do help sum and it returns me, say help on some function in module main, and some num1 num2 that are for definition, and number it takes two numbers as arguments and return a number, and it says returns the sum of two numbers, it says, and one example is also given. So if you copy this or write this in the shell and you will get 7, and this is our test case which is true. We are getting the same value as we have predicted, so our function is working fine. So now you know about docstring. Okay, so in this way you can have docstring in any function, and with this docstring you can later see how that function works that you have created or someone else have created. Okay, so see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.